Hi everyone, Emma here. I have a design that I'm just kind of working through in my head, so I thought I'd turn the camera on and see what we come up with. So I started out with these, let me enlarge this a bit here. I started out with these Matubo Superduo Duets. I'm so kind of interested in these beads. I wasn't sure what the right word to say. It's like I was excited. I was excited when I saw them, but then when I got them, I was like, oh, I don't know, like how to use them so that you can get the effect. I feel like, now I did hear somebody say in a design that they were doing that was like a star pattern. So you use 5 of these, but then you stack them side by side and then you go further in the bracelet. So it ends up making it look like you have these little triangles everywhere with the design. That person did say that the best ones to get are the really opposite colors. So they have these in black and white, and I think this person was doing their design in black and white, and it looked stunning. But anyway, so these are the ones I got. They are green turquoise, it says. So you can see the one side's turquoise, the other side is not sure what that color is. Green, like a light olivine green or something. It looks a bit yellow. Anyway, so I started out playing with them to see what I could make, and I matched the kind of yellowish color to these beads here. And actually, when you look at these look really yellow, kind of like a buttery yellow. I think they are called butter or something. But anyway, once you get them on here, they lose their intensity of their color, so it just looks kind of washed out. And I feel like the rest of this looks washed out as well. Now, it does look cool that you can see the, because I've put them on in a certain way so that the blue matches the blue. So you do start to get that effect. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this design now. Part of this design is you put a bit of a picot in between the blues. So I think we're going to do this design, but we're going to use this yellow gold instead of these cream colored beads. And hopefully it will elevate it enough. And then we're going to add this clasp to go with it. And so I have 2 color beads. These are treasures, I think. So they're a little tubular rather than round, and I feel like the beads that go in between need to be round. So I did manage to find these guys. So this color would really elevate it as well. But these are 15s. But you know what? We're just going in between here. I think 3 15s in there should look fine. So I think we should try it. So I'll just put that right there so you have an idea of how to add your beads. And I guess I need a stop bead. So let's grab a silver bead here. So just pick up, and I'm using my dragon thread. I have been using this for a long time and I still have tons left. You know, it occurred to me halfway through using this that I don't know how it holds up with the bracelets, and I keep using it. So if you guys are out there, and let me know what you think, if it's held up with your bracelets and whatnot. So there's that. So we got our stop bead. I just took like a wingspan. I'm gonna leave a bit on the end, about 6 inches, so I'm probably not going to need it actually now that I think of it, because we're putting this clasp and we're doing it with jump rings. So you just need enough to sew through your work. So I'll just do that. Okay, so we don't need these guys anymore. We do need these. I have to take a look. I was kind of fishing through my Superduos. I have a huge collection of Superduos. I'm sure a lot of you have the same. But I probably have some other duets. I don't know. I kind of hesitated when I was buying them because I think I kind of came up with that idea. First of all, the ones that looked amazing were the black and white, and I'm not big on black and white anyway, so I don't know. So I'm putting 3 beads on to start with, and then I'm gonna pick up. So here's the thing: you have to pick up the bead in the orientation that you want it to sit. So the way I look at it is the color of the bead should match the color that you're going into. So I'm going into the yellow. Now the next one, you need another Superduo. You're going to match the blue with a blue. So you're going to pick up on the blue side like that. Okay, so we are going to do a loop around. So we're going to create this loop here. So now we're at this point here, the Superduo. We need 3 beads and then 2 Superduos. So let's pick up 3 of the golds. And so that gold, we need a gold part of the bead touching. So that's that. Now we need a blue touching the blue. It may sound kind of simple, but you know what? I was doing this one and I knew what I was doing and I got it wrong. I had to take it apart and go through and change what I had. So when you're not paying attention, sometimes the beads pop on the needle and you don't realize it. So bring them all to the bottom. Now you're going to skip your stop bead. Just put my nail on it so we know. We're going to go through the 3 and the 2 Superduos, and then we're going to go through 2 of the seed beads up here like that. So that's what you're going to go through, and you're going to pull everything tight like that. Here, let me move my mat up a bit so you can see, and move this thread out of the way. So it's a little high up on the, we can move that down. Just take your finger and pull everything down and out and reorient those beads. So like that. So this actually looks pretty good. And we do want that a little bit snug there. Okay. So this here is the common bead between the next set. So if you look at this here, there's that common bead. So we're going to need a seed bead, 2 Superduos, 3, 2 Superduos, and a seed bead. And this is what you're going to do for the rest. It's a little different than what we had earlier. Okay, so again, you're looking at a yellow bead, so we want a yellow side of the Superduo. Then we need the blue side of the Superduo to match up. Then we need 3 seed beads and yellow side, blue side, and we need 1 seed bead. Okay, so this is what, I think I'm going to enlarge this so you can, and I'm going to tilt this a little bit down so you can see. That is what you're going to put on your needle every time. Super simple. Okay, bring it down. All the way down. Pick up your bottom piece here like that. So you see this is your common bead. You're coming out of this side. You're going to go into the other side like that. I'm just going to hang on to that and pull everything in. So that is a little brighter, shinier. Only Emma could find a way to bling things up with pale beads. So now we need to bring our our threads coming out of that common bead here. We need to go through this seed bead, these two Superduos, and then these two seed beads. We're ready to add some more. So you can do this in parts like that. I have so many projects on my desk, it's ridiculous. It's there, got tangled. I'm just saying that because I'm kind of excited. I have stuff that I want to show you guys, but sometimes it gets so cluttered that I can't get past that. And I think what I just need to do is turn the camera on and grab one of the bins. Like I put them in these little trays, and then we'll just start making stuff, see what comes out. Sometimes like crazy stuff that I didn't even think about starts happening. So we need common bead here. So we need a seed bead, then we need two Superduos, 3 seed beads, 2 Superduos, and a seed bead. So seed bead, Superduos, 3 seed, whoops, that's 4, 3 seed beads, a Superduo, and a seed bead. Coming out of this side, we're going to go into the other side. So you keep doing this to the length of your bracelet, and then you go back down and add the embellishment of the seed beads. I guess you could put a Swarovski bicone in there. Ooh. See what I mean? Stuff just starts happening in your brain. Beading's wonderful. It does that to your brain. This is your brain on seed beads. I should do like a frying pan with a bunch of bicones. This is your brain on seed beads. So now we want to bring ourselves up to this. Don't try this at home, kids. Goes along with the frying pan analogy. That's pretty. That's very pretty. It's hard for me to see because I'm like really up close. I think once the blue's in there, it will really... You could always put a bead here. Yeah. There's actually, now that I look at this, there's so many options. Very many. Let's see what we can do. And one more. I love Superduos, and you know what's funny? I was watching a video from Art Beads, and I think it was an old video, and I think she says, she goes, if you're like the most of us, you have a affinity for Superduos. I actually think she had the stats on it that like I didn't know if it was how many people have Superduos or if it was the percentage of Superduos in people's collection or something. I can't remember the stat, but I'm like, okay, so it's not just me that's obsessed with Superduos. I have a problem. It's all beads. Come on. Who am I kidding? I'm just amazed. Like, I didn't do... I don't think I did anything like this beading situation before. So I don't know where it comes from, although I remember we were into jewelry, earrings in particular, but I don't know whose jewelry box we inherited. I think it was my grandmother's or something. And that's always fun, getting some really interesting stuff. And so I definitely like that stuff. But this is a whole other level. I don't know. I don't know what happened to me. Please tell me. You know, I ask what happened to me, but I'm thinking about this now. I was a knitter I was probably 10 years old when I learned how to knit. And because of my carpal tunnel syndrome, I think it was part way through nursing. It might have been before nursing school. I stopped knitting. Oh, one of these seed beads not going through. Let's take that out. So I'm using a size 10 beading needle. It shouldn't have an effect on this, but sometimes the beads are small. There. Yeah, so in what I'm getting at with being a knitter is I was always knitting. It was like keeping your hands busy all the time. And I don't know, I think being a hyper person, that's a common thing that people will do. I'm trying to keep the tension. I guess if you went through it around a second time, that would hold the tension. I suspect when I put these into it will. I used to knit Preemie sweaters and hats, and you could donate it. They had a box at the drugstore at Shoppers Drug Mart here in Canada, and you could drop it off. And I think they had patterns and stuff like that, but they would donate it to hospitals. So I used to do all kinds. I used to love finding old patterns at like thrift stores and stuff like that. And then I would do the old designs. It was a lot of fun because you don't know what it's going to be like. You don't have a frame of reference. The printing of the picture on the front really didn't do it justice. But so it was pretty cool. And I can remember I had an aunt that lived across the street from us, and she was a knitter. So when I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13, I'd come across a pattern and it would have a certain thing, tell you how to do something, and it was confusing or whatever. So I would call her on the phone. She lived across the street. I don't know why I didn't go across the street. But I'd call her on the phone and I'd say, "Ma tante, I need some help with this pattern. It says," and I'd read to her what it said, and she'd say, "Okay, take your needle," and she'd walk me through it. I would be like, "What?" Okay, this is tangled for some reason. What the heck? I think it's my end got tangled around the other. So yeah, she would walk me through it. Oh, she was amazing. She just passed away this year. I was telling her daughter about how she was always so helpful. Always positive, too. There. It's coming along. go through these two. So yeah, I think I probably substituted the knitting for the beading. The other thing that with the knitting, I was so obsessive about knitting that I would knit on the way to school on the streetcar and everything. Even with the streetcar bouncing around, I could tell when my stop was, that I could do like so many rows before I had to put it away. I was doing cable knit sweaters too, so I had there's these little rings that you put on your needle, and they're color coded so that you can you don't have to keep counting where your parts of your cable is going. So you put those things in between, and then I had a counter on one needle and a counter on the other. So the counter on one needle was how many rows of something, and then the other one was how many rows going the other way. Yeah, I was obsessed. So one year they had at the Zellers, which is kind of like Walmart in Canada, which is no longer around, but they had a bin with sweater kits. So it basically had the pattern and all the wool you needed for it. And they were like $10 each. So I was like, that's great. So I bought one for each of my sisters, and I have 5 sisters. So I knit 5 sweaters. I don't know, I might have done one for my mom too, so 6. I think there was one for myself. And they had different patterns, so I think I had one of every pattern. So I knitted like something like 7 sweaters, and I don't think I had it. Oops, I don't think I had the wool and like bought the kits till like a couple of weeks before Christmas. So needless to say, I was knitting with my eyes closed. I was so tired. I remember Christmas Eve finishing up the last sweater. I had blisters on my fingers from when you poke your needle stuff. Like I would push, I think it was my thumb, I would push my needle out, and like the wool would rub across, and yeah, that's crazy. This is actually coming out really nice. So let's keep going. See how far we can get. This is pretty simple. I think this would be good to do 2 rows. And then you would have this diamond shape coming out this way. I have a bunch of sets here, so let's see what I come up with. So when I was saying I had projects on my desk, some of them are just like straight stringing wire and stuff. And I just felt like doing some bead weaving now. You don't get much simpler than this. Or maybe you do. So oh, look, that one's all broken. That's a sad one. Poor bead. Then we need 3 of these. So let me know if you're crazy about Superduos. I have to do some more. I think what I'm going to do is I have a couple of drawers of stuff that I haven't touched because I didn't want to share them. That's so bad. But the Superduos is one of those. It's like, no, those nobody's getting those. That's how bad it is. But I need to sort through, first of all, and secondly, do some designs. So I was thinking of maybe I have to test my internet connection for that because I've tried to do some lives in the past and it cuts out, so it's crap. And my tablet, which I'm using right now, is Wi-Fi, so of course it's going to be worse than if I use my computer, which is in front of me. Has it has a booster on it. It's still Wi-Fi as well, but at least it has a booster, so it might work better. But then that means the camera on it's crap. So we'll see. I might try and adjust it so that it will show you what I'm doing, and then we'll sort through my stuff. I have some bins of beads that I need to sort because when I did my destash, I put the absolute keeps in a big bin, and now it has to be sorted because it's like I don't remember what I have, and what I do remember, I'm like, oh, I need these, and then I end up digging through everything, so that's not working for me. And we could chit chat, see how everybody's doing. I know people love doing. Oh, look, I missed a bead. That's not right. Let's see, guess I hoot. It's not too bad. This would be easy to add a bead. You guys probably saw that and were yelling, Emma, you forgot one. I'm never listening, too busy chatting. But yeah, people like lives, and it's really fun. Like, it's amazing that it actually feels like you're with the person. So it's definitely worth doing. And you know what I'm finding right now is I had a bit of a lull after my grab bag sale, and I was trying to get some painting finished for my wife for her birthday, and it's just like I did do some of it, but I didn't quite finish it. And it's one of those things you have to be in the mood for it, or else you'll make a mess of it. And I'm at the finish line, so I really need to do a good job for her. So in the meantime, I hadn't done many videos in a while, and I was kind of feeling like, oh, you guys don't want to hear this stuff. You don't want to see this. This is boring. I'm like, it's all these kind of stupid things you say to yourself when you're feeling low or lack of self-confidence or whatever, which I'm pretty confident, so I don't know where that comes from. But anyway, I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Beading makes me so happy. And I can remember thinking to myself at times, if I went a day or two without making a bracelet, I would think, I have to make a bracelet every day. Like, I would go all day and not make a bracelet. And then when I go to bed, I was like, I feel like crap. And I'd go get a tray and grab some beads, and I'd sit in bed making a bracelet. And I'm thinking, okay, now I feel good. Like, what? It's that simple to make you feel good. So when I hadn't been doing anything and I was kind of self-conscious about doing videos, I was like, you know, if I should just do some lives and start talking to people and just playing with stuff and not have any set goals. The goal being connect with people, talk to people, and laugh and have fun. So I'm going to work on that and see if I can get like I said, the internet connection, get it working. We do have a better bandwidth now, so it should do well. But I haven't tried it since we got the new internet provider. let's see what we have here. The doves are out, so I don't know if the doves go south for the winter, but we definitely don't see them. And I just noticed, like, I can hear in the backyard, I can hear them cooing. So they're out and about. This actually is really starting to look incredible. Wow. It has a bit of an antique feel to it because of that kind of yellowy pale color. But let me see how that is on my wrist. I think I'm going to have to do a bit more. Oh my god, this is pretty. This is pretty. Okay, so I was going to say double this, but not quite double this. So let's keep going. One. There was something my wife was saying the other day, and I said, I'm going to tell my subscribers. Okay, that bead is clogged. She's like, oh, you say that all the time and you forget by the time you talk to them. I'm like, no, I gotta tell them this. And of course, I can't remember what she said. She comes up with these names for me as to the beading. Like, calling me, say, a Swarovski, and like change the word to make it sound like I'm a Swarovski nut or something. I don't know. So, you guys think it's bad with your partners when it comes to how much beads you buy? So, my wife doesn't, give me a hard time. She's like, it's your money. We both pay our bills. So, it's not like I'm spending money that I'm supposed to be paying, a car payment or house bill or something. But she does my taxes. Oh, so this year, because which is funny because last year I had the AdSense as well, which is the ads on Google for YouTube. So I get paid for ads. Now it's like very, very little is what you get paid. But anyway, it's income. So I have to declare it on my taxes. So she's doing the taxes and she says to me, so what I'd like you to do is go through the different suppliers that you buy beads from and create a list of what you bought for the year and stuff so we can put it against the income and hopefully one will cancel out the other kind of thing, right? Do you guys know what I'm thinking? Like, no freaking way I'm telling her how much I really spent. Don't tell her. So, yeah. We had a conversation because it's tax time right now. Like it's the crunch is on. It has to be done by the end of this month, and so I think she completed hers. I have to sit with her while she does mine, and so I had a bit of a conversation with her, and I said, "Listen, be prepared. You're gonna see some numbers you're probably not gonna like." She's like, no, it's your hobby. It's no big deal and stuff. But I'm still not showing her the full. I feel like Donald Trump. I'm not showing her all the income. Uh, oh boy. Reminds me of on one level. And I've told this story before, but I have to tell you again if you've missed it, because these stories are kind of embedded in videos, so you might not know that that story is in the video unless you watch the whole thing. Anyway, I was married when I was just out of nursing school, and I married another nurse. And I was using his car, and we lived in a snow belt, so you would get the snow plows would create the big snow banks, and then you'd get a fresh snow, and then they'd push more on top. In the meantime, like the bottom layer got icy and hard. So anyway, I was in the grocery store parking lot, and I went to go between a car and a post, or one of these snowbanks actually, and I guess I didn't quite judge it correctly, and I heard a big crunch. I was like, oh God, it's tangled here. So, oh, I missed a bead right there. I did that earlier. I don't know why. So here's the thing. I called my girlfriend and I said, Rita, what do I do? She says, Emma, whatever you do, don't tell your husband. How is that a good advice? No, be honest. What if I did something really serious? She's like, no, don't tell anybody. And why am I calling my girlfriend to find out I'm an adult? It's like, I was 30. Why am I calling her to find out what to do? That ain't the end of the story. So I didn't tell him. And what had happened was, so I had kind of skirted by the snowbank, and it was hard, and it, instead of like knocking the snow down, the ice underneath dented the wheel well. So unless you walked around your car, and of course it's in the winter, so you don't really do that much. So anyway, I'm just gonna take a look at where we're at here. Coming along quite a bit. Oh yeah, this is, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be, so this for me is probably, yeah, because the clasp is a bit long. Let me measure this to be sure. I kind of want to add one more, but then, you know what? One more could be the one that doesn't fit. So that's, yeah, I thought these were 1 inch. So let me see here. That's kind of, I think I do need one more because I think it needs to be slightly loose so that you can actually get the toggle in. So let's do one more. So one day we were heading out to go skiing, and our the way our driveway was, you like drove in and then backed out, and it was on a busy street, so you had to be careful and judge with the cars coming and whatnot. Anyway, we're backing out, he's driving, and he hits, on the side of our driveway was a snowbank, so he hits the snowbank. He's like, oh, what did I hit? So he gets out of the car and he goes and looks, and he's like, I can't believe I hit the snowbank, and it dented the wheel well. I'm like wiping the sweat off my brow, going, phew. He thinks he did it. I never did tell him. Some people get freaked out over the slightest little thing. I feel like you need to put it in perspective. Gosh. I don't know if I would ever conceal something like that from my wife. She's such a gearhead, so she's right into cars. Okay, so now we need to go back down and add the Picos. So I think that will kind of strengthen this a bit. I don't know, we'll see. So we're coming out of here. We're going to go through these guys. Because we'll decide at the end if we put a loop or just go ahead and put a jump ring there. Oh, you know what I realized? I'm going to miss the first one. Let's take a look what I'm talking about here. So, okay, so let's tighten that. And that's needs to be, this is loosening up. I need this tighter. There. Okay. So just to mention too, if you didn't know this, if you're new to bead weaving and you're like, you saw how this was sticking out this way. If I pulled my thread this way, it actually pulled it away, so these opened up. But if you take your thread and pull it in the direction towards your bracelet, so go this way, then it will cinch these down. So I just thought I'd point that out. So I need to be in the top hole from the inside. So I need to be able to step up on one of these. And so I think what I'm going to have to do is go through this one, step up, come this way, and then go around. But you know what? That's not going to work because I'll be down. Going from here to here, I need to go down here. Let me think about this for a second here. So if I went through here, let's bring that like that. I wonder if I go to the other side, get this to work. Yes, that's what I need to do. So loop all the way around here. So go through this. That is such an easy fix, and I don't know why it looked complicated. So that makes everything tight. Then we're going to go into this hole like that. And now we're going to step up. Perfect. So up through here. And I put some of those beads out. Let's see how they fit. They're super tiny before we go and pour them all out. So we're going to need 3 at least. Might need more. So we're going to go from this one to create this picot, but we're also going to attach these two together. I think the idea was to go across 2 beads, but I actually think we might maybe put a small bead in there. Let's see what this does. The 3 is plenty. That looks really amazing. And it seems to be okay in this space. So let's just keep going down the line and see how that works. Oh yeah, this is really nice. So this one kind of sat nicely like a picot. This one's not as much. Let me see if it's just the tension. It might be the beads itself. So this, like squeezing together right here, I might end up having to add some length because you see there's quite a bit of space but then when you start putting them together, they get bunched up. So let's just keep going and deal with what comes out. See if I can remember any. I should tell you stories of when I got myself in trouble. Oh gosh, I just thought of one. I used to drive home. I worked in a factory when I was in my late teens, early 20s, and there was a cop car that used to sit at the same spot every day, and it was all warehouses in the area, so it was like shift people changing shift and going home. So he was basically sitting there waiting to get people for speeding or different infractions. So after a while, I'd see him there all the time. So one day I decided to wave to him. He was not happy. He stopped me. You think you're really funny? Da, da, da. And he just like gave me a tongue lashing. And I sat there. I knew enough that don't say a word and just apologize and agree. And I knew that there was nothing he could charge me with. Unless you can charge somebody with being a jerk. Being a smart ass. So this is looking amazing. But you know what? It is shortening it quite a bit. So we'll see. Because we can always add to the end. Oh, this is lovely. I like it. I like it. Yeah. It's pretty. My wife says to me sometimes, she goes, I find it amazing that you're still alive sometimes. Some of the things you say that comes out of your mouth. It's no wonder people didn't like punch you out or something. I'm like, what are you trying to say? Am I annoying you? Oh gosh. That's when my bipolar disorder comes in, where I'm hyper, so the words come out of my mouth before I get a chance to filter it. I'm trying to think of the times where that happened. Wow, I still can't get over this. Is really coming out amazing. This one I'm not proud of, but when I was in nursing school, we had a library and they had medical journals, and they were supposed to be set up that you could actually look up an article, and it never failed. Like nothing was there. The stuff was either misplaced or they just didn't have that magazine journal. And anyway, I went to, after being frustrated looking for something in particular, I went up to the front and the lady's like, well, you need to just look at this index and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I did that already. I need your help. Like, isn't that what you get paid for? Oh, needless to say, she reported me to the dean, and the dean's like, are you sure you got the right name? There's no way Emma would ever say something like that. So, of course, I didn't know what she told the dean, but the dean, talked to me, and I said, well, yeah, I did talk to her, and I said, it's so frustrating. You're trying to get stuff, and it's never there, and I don't know, because it's a college library. I don't know what they. I'm making excuses. You can hear it in my voice. I'm like thinking to myself, I don't know what they thought their job was. But you know what? Here's the thing. Now at the time, this wasn't the case because I wasn't a nurse yet. But now when I think of it, if somebody asked me for something, you have to do something about it. You can't just say, I don't know. And I'm sure there's places where, that happens and nobody shows any accountability. But as a nurse in my career, it was like anybody, family member, patient, doctor, other nurse, other allied health, they asked you for something, even if it wasn't your job, you never said it's not my job. You had to get an answer for them. So, but anyway, yeah. That reminds me, and the only reason this reminds me of this story is um, I remember having this conversation in the library at the college. So, with my ex-husband, yeah, look at how small it got. Let me see. It's like, look at that. It was up to here. So we lost maybe 2 lengths. So we can actually add the lengths right here. So I'm going to go through the 2 beads. And we will add the lengths and then continue along. I'm going to loosen it a bit though, because it's curling a bit. So I think we need to add 3 sections. Yeah, so I don't know how this conversation started, but my ex-husband was talking about Wolverines, and I said to him, I said, "What are you crazy? There's no such thing. It's a fictional character." He's like, "No, there's real animals called Wolverines." I'm like, "You're so full of it." I had him believing that he had made up this animal. I seriously didn't realize there's an animal, a Wolverine animal. And I don't know if he showed it to me or I ended up like second guessing myself and going, "Ooh, maybe there is." So I went and checked in the encyclopedia. It's like it had a picture and everything. I'm like, "Oops, there's my big mouth." Yeah. So this looks like one package would easily do a full bracelet, because let's look. So there's still all this of these Superduos, and we'll probably get through this. I need 2 more of these. Oh, other side. Another side. Blue side, and then a bead. So this is my second add-on. Yeah, good old nursing school. That was, we were just at the, we were probably one of the last programs that were still in the colleges and hospital based. And, oh, look, it's going to be 3. I'm going to have to take one of these out. Actually, I'll just open another bag. The teachers we had, we used to call it the women's army. They were like, oh, is it Captain Hooligan or the from MASH, the nurse from MASH? They were all like that. They were so strict. You had to have, so we had to wear white dress uniforms, and you had to have your hair in a ponytail off your collar. Couldn't be touching your collar. You had to have these ugly white shoes, orthopedic shoes. Uh, and they would stand behind you going, "What's that? What's that?" Pointing to things, and you're having to go through all your biology and physiology processes to explain what's happening and what's the treatments for it. And yeah, it was major, major stressful. But I learned early on that if you volunteered to do a skill first before the rest of the students, that they left you alone. So I would practice. I would go into the college on the weekends. They had a lab and it was set up like a hospital floor. So you could go in, they had like dummies in the bed and you worked on the dummies as if they were patients and do all the different skills. They had IV lines and everything. So I would just go in every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, all day. You'd sign in at the front desk, and so they would also see that you had signed in, so they knew that you were practicing. Okay, so we are coming out at this side, so we're going to go around. And then, okay, I'm confused. I'm confused again. Oh, there's a bead on there. We don't want that. Okay, then let me try and figure out what I'm doing here. I might have to end my thread here because I don't have much left. Okay, you know what? So these three are going to be messed up because we're going to come up here and then go back down. So I think actually, how can I do this? I'm wondering if there's a way to get back up this way and then tie off. So let's go down this way. Let's switch, do a figure eight. It's went around the everything. The thread's so short that trying to pull it out, not working. There. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, this is going to work actually. And it should tighten this up too. And it's going to happen is I'm going to have to go further. Sorry, I'm going to have to go further because we need these two to connect, although I could probably use this thread. Let me see here. I'm going to try and get this one all the way in. Okay. Let's, okay. I need to be coming out of this one. So this is going the wrong way. It's the bracelet that's going the wrong way, not me. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, I think I got it. Oh, I think I got it. It's a bit of a cheat, but so I'm going to go across and then step up on this one and then just go straight across. I probably could have done it. Yeah, I could actually do it. This one, let's back out. Let's back out of these two like that. and then up through here, through this one. There we go. Perfect. Then we are ready to step up on this side here, right there, and go through this bead here. Okay. So I think I'll do 3 seed beads and then tie off, and then we'll use that to get through. And it's about the same length. Do this side. Okay. This stop bead is actually interfering there. Okay, like that. Oh, we need to go through this one. There. Pick up 3. Go through the 2. That. And then 3. There. So that's the one side. Oh, this is really looking amazing. These blues really match the blue of the bead. So it accents it really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to tie this off. I'm going to go through these 2. And then I'll put a knot in there. This looks weird. Oh, there. Okay, put a knot in here. Hopefully I have enough thread yet. 1, 2. You don't have to go around twice. I like to for mine. And actually, this is, now there's a space which I don't want. Let's see if we can pull it through. There. I don't think you're going to notice that. Okay, so now let's go through. Through here. Okay, and I'm going to go through this one and then do one more knot, and that will be it for this side. It's a little piece of lint that's sticking in there. Okay, so let's get our needle around the thread once, twice, pull that through, snug it up, and then tuck it in through these beads. There. So we can take that off. So this next side should go pretty quick. Don't need those. Let's clip this. Oh, wrong one. We'll have to tuck that one in. Maybe we should do it now. That's in the way. It should be pretty easy. That. Of course, I say that pretty easy, but watch. I can't thread my needle. Yeah. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. This thread is... C'est toute magané. It's all messed up. If I don't do these in, like, while I'm doing the video, they end up in a pile on my desk with threads coming out everywhere. You know what? I'm going to go through these guys. I feel like hiding the knot in the 11 is a little better. I was just I was wondering how come it was getting loose, and I realized this thread was holding everything. So that's probably why it's a bit funky. I'll do a second knot just to be safe. Tight and through here. Okay, last knot here. And through the beads. There. Now we need a fresh piece of, and I'm like just stretching it out a bit so that instead of this turning this way, kind of getting it nice and straight. We're gonna need these. Get some. I don't think we need too much thread, but we better take it off. I think you've seen enough knot tying to know what you're doing. I used to use collapsible needles all the time because I couldn't thread my needles on camera. Now I'm like, whatever, I got it. We got this covered. Okay, so we need to be coming out of this bead. So actually, if we tie it off here and go up through here, okay. Let me start on this side. See if I can put a knot here. Let me put that through here. Like this. Okay. Get a knot in here. Okay. And go through these guys. These don't, once they're done, like up like this, they, because they're on a bit of an angle, the needle doesn't like going through them. So just do one at a time. I don't want to crack my beads at this point. Okay, so you saw that slid in a bit. That's kind of what I wanted. I was not expecting it to go through that much, but so I can tie this now, or cut this. Okay, I'm going to put a knot here and then that'll be secure. there. And hide that knot in these seed beads. It's amazing, you know, you think 11 O's are so small and you can still hide knots in them. Let's now go through this Superduo, the bottom hole, and then step up to the top hole. We're set to go. This should go pretty quick. These tiny guys. It's an hour and 10 minutes. Have I been chatting that long? I should, my poor wife and I, with everything going on with COVID and health issues, and our sleep pattern is just messed up big time. So she's having a nap. And I went to wake her up. I did a video. I figured, well, by the time I'm done the video, I'll wake her up. So I went to wake her up. She's like, oh, I just got to sleep. I couldn't sleep, so I was playing with my tablet. So I said, well, when do you want me to wake you up? She's like, in another hour. So I'm like, okay, good. I could do another video. But I'm looking at the clock going, okay, it's past an hour. She's going to be like, you shouldn't have let me sleep so long. I got distracted, honey. So it's not too bad when she's sleeping. It's when she's doing other stuff. She'll go downstairs and make dinner. And I'll say, oh, I'll just be a half an hour. And like 2 hours later, she's like, it's a good thing you can't tell time. My dad used to do that to my mom. So he built a workshop in the backyard, so had all his tools, and he was a carpenter, so cabinet maker. But my mom would send one of us kids out to the shop. So you're basically going out the back door and like going a few steps and then going into his shop. Tell him, Mommy says dinner's ready. Yep, I'll be right there. Like an hour later, he's still not in. So my mom had him put a phone line in the workshop. She'd call him. It was the same thing. He'd answer the phone and he'd say, yeah, I'll be right there. Like an hour later, she's like, do you want to go tell your dad dinner's ready? Okay. I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, so I get a little obsessive. I could easily forget to eat. When I was nursing, they used to joke about nurses having bladder infections all the time because we didn't use the bathroom. Like, we'd go a whole 12-hour shift and you couldn't stop to take a pee. So, yeah. I'm sure I'm paying for it now. I call, my wife and I call it our old lady bladder. Every half hour you're having to pee. But we drink a lot of tea, black tea, which is a diuretic. So yeah, you see how fast this is going now? This is really beautiful. I cannot believe this. I never would have thought. Who'd have thunk it? So I have to do some other designs with this and maybe try some round beads or maybe some mini daggers and stuff. Drops. Actually, I was thinking of lentils in here somewhere. I have piggies too, some really beautiful piggies. You know, it's funny too though, is this all started because of these duets. I don't have any other duets as far as I can remember, but yeah, you know what? It's the duet that really makes it look amazing. I was gonna say you could just do this style with regular Superduos, which you can, but this is like really pretty. They look like little tulips or crocuses. Okay. This is awesome. I was thinking, you're gonna laugh when you hear this. I need to use up all my beads before I buy anything else. What do you think? Do you think that's gonna happen? You should place bets. We'll do a draw. Who guessed correctly? Everybody gets a prize. I need help. Oh my god, this is amazing. I cannot believe. I love it. This turned out really, it feels like substantial too. I was surprised because the Superduos, before we put the 350 are kind of flippy floppy, and now it creates this really nice, tight, beautiful bracelet. Whoa! Yeah, you could put some bicones in there. It would really pop. Okay, enough of that silliness. Let's see if we can get some knots in here and put a clasp on this. Yeah, my needle's not happy going through all that. Okay. Let's do that. Let's go this way. Nice. Very nice. I must have had a knot in there because it's kind of sticky. Let's go through here. Go through there. We'll put one more knot so that we're not losing our beads. Okay. 1, 2, pull that in, and go through these guys. There. My needle's starting to bend. Getting excited. Put that there. This is birdie. Oh my gosh. Wow, this is going to be amazing. Let me open this up so you can see the clasp on it. So, Tammy told me a trick to putting jump rings on your bead weaving. So I was complaining that when I put a jump ring on, if you don't get it closed exactly right, so you see how it's open there, and then when I close it, if I don't get it exactly right, your thread will slide through that. She told me a trick that I am so using. So you can see there's 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. So you use 2 jump rings, and she said the chances of both getting unhooked from your thread is not likely. So I'm going to try that. Let's open this one up. I need to put this rubber stuff on my tools, it's rubbed off, and it makes it hard to use. I don't know if you can see that. The tips get all shredded. Okay, let's see. Now I'm using a really small jump ring. I'm gonna do my best to get this closed, but you know what? It doesn't want to close. That actually looks like it wouldn't. Oh, there is a bit of a space there. Let's see. I don't want to intentionally take it off, but so I think if we put a second one, that will really take care of that. Get that on there. Oh, this might be too tight on this hole. I don't want it to be. Yeah, this is not gonna. My hole's a bit too small for, like, these jump rings are 18 gauge. So let's leave it. I think I might try to close that a little better. There, it's touching now. Okay, sorry, didn't use your advice, Tammy. I tried. That one, this side here is smaller, the hole, when you look at how big this one is. So, that happens. This has it's double-sided, so I don't have to worry. I was going to say this has one side. And put that in there. That should do it. This is beautiful. Look at that. Okay, I think I need to open this up. Move my tools. Let's see if I can, how it fits. Oh, this is lovely. I'm so excited. This is why I love beading. There's my hopper. Oh, look at this, is just snug there. So actually this is, like I said, it's a bit, like I could fit a couple of fingers, so maybe one less for my wrist. But I kind of like them sitting a bit low, and that's what it looks like. Oh, that's gorgeous. This turned out amazing. So I might even, if I did this again, I might even get like a brighter yellow gold for the middle beads and really shine it up. But I think this is a really good kind of jumping off point for doing some designs with this kind of little X in the middle, and then maybe some beads here and some beads on the side. So let's take a look. There we go. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. So thanks for being there. I mean, this would not be as much fun without you guys being there and commenting. So I really appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Bye.